Hello everyone and welcome to another video of the Tour of Slovenia on the cycling Dane. And of course, just to remind ourselves, on stage 3 yesterday we saw a very active battle, UAE Team Emirates being the supreme team again, with Tadej Pogačar taking the victory once again in Celje. Absolutely phenomenal. And make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And with that, it was all about Tadej Pogačar today as well, wearing the leader's jersey, and of course we were going to visit his hometown as well. So a very good homage to the rider. But in terms of the stage, this was the Queen stage with 4 categorized climbs along the way, of course, and finishing up a Cat 1 climb at the finish, being the big threat at 7.6% average gradient and a total distance of 8.2 kilometers long. The day began as usual with a formation of a break up the road consisting of many of the teams that we've become accustomed to seeing in the stage. We even saw a horse galloping right next to a bike. Was it challenged? Who knows? But great to see the fans out as always in Slovenia, really showing the race. And we even saw UAE Team Emirates racing by the horse and just giving a bit of recognition to the fan, which was good to see. But back to the racing, we could see that we had Badiani CSF there. We even had the national road race champion for Croatia as well. We had Drone Hopper up there. We had Kern as well. UAE Team Emirates, of course, were the team, the supreme team at the front, trying to dictate the pace, controlled everything, their affairs at the front. They were wanting to stay out of trouble before the final climb, of course. But we saw a few attacks coming in when it came to the Mountains jersey points. It was Bahrain victorious, just doing a bit of moves here. With 45.2 kilometers, they still had a 3 minutes and 17 seconds. Matej Morahic just about took the sprint for the Mountains, but Tadej Pogačar and Rafal Majka were not too phased about that right now. Rafal Majka, of course, the rider sitting highest up in that classification. But with 26.8 kilometers, we had a 1 minute and 18 second deficit to the breakaway. Bahrain victorious put on the pace. They lowered it down to 46 seconds and really had something that they wanted to show here. The Tour had been dominated by UAE Team Emirates so long, so Bahrain victorious, of course, wanted something out of this. Jan Tratnik hit out, and he was joined by last year's podium finisher Mateo Sobrero, and also they were joined by Nicole Conchi, the rider who was sitting 4th. These riders managed to get a few seconds ahead of the peloton, but it didn't last long. However, Jan Tratnik wasn't content with being swallowed up by the peloton, so the Bahrain victorious rider set off in a TT mode and tried to see if he could catch the break. With 19.2 kilometers, he had 21 seconds to the break up the road and 17 seconds back to the peloton. And then with 18.2 kilometers, Jan Tratnik made the catch and he joined this very heavy breakaway. He even managed to ramp it up and got to the front and wanted to not hang around here. And many of the riders were scrambling to try and hang on to the Slovenian's wheel. Iola Kometa were one of the teams not too pleased about Jan Tratnik joining that breakaway. So with 12.4 kilometers to go, they set up the pace with only 19 seconds to the break. Jan Tratnik, however, was still leading the charge for the breakaway, and they managed to hang on to about 15 seconds just within 12 kilometers. Within 10 kilometers to go of the finishing line, we could see that the peloton was starting to get riled up a bit, and UAE Team Emirates were getting to the front to ramp up the pace once again. Jan Tratnik and his friends were brought back by UAE Team Emirates, so unfortunately for Jan Tratnik, it wasn't going to be his day today. But the final 5 kilometers, of course, was a stern test for the riders, averaging 8.9%, and really was something to behold for all the riders. Surprisingly, Cara Rual, the pro-continental Spanish team, they really put the pace on the burners and they tried to put UAE Team Emirates under pressure with 5.7 kilometers to go. They managed to get somewhat of a gap with one of their riders, but Rafal Majka and Tadej Pogačar, of course, that iconic duo of this year's Tour of Slovenia, managed to claw back the lone Cara Rual rider and dropped everyone else, and suddenly we were back at this scenario with Tadej Pogačar and Rafal Majka leading the charge. Matej Morahic had nothing to respond, the Slovenian national road race champion, and Iola Kometa as well. They couldn't respond to this charge by the 2 riders up in front, Rafal Majka and Tadej Pogačar. Doman Novak, of course, sitting 3rd overall, wasn't able to do anything either. The Bahrain victorious rider conceding defeat almost, and Nicola Conchi as well, who we'd seen active on the stage for Alpecin Phoenix, was suffering as well. So with 3.8 kilometers to go, it seemed like the riders behind the 2 phenomenal riders from UAE Team Emirates had come to the realization that they would be fighting for 3rd place. Rafal Majka and Tadej Pogačar looked absolutely phenomenal, wearing not their team kit, of course. Rafal Majka wearing the Mountains jersey and Tadej Pogačar wearing the green jersey of the Tour of Slovenia leaders jersey. 3.1 kilometers to go, and there was simply nothing stopping them. The riders behind tried to do some kind of chase, but of course they had nothing in the tank. And we saw that even more with Doma Novak, who went backwards. And Sean Bennett saw this and tried to capitalize the American rider, really putting on the pressure. And yeah, Doma Novak was having an absolutely nightmare situation. Sean Bennett really tried to get himself out in front. He knew that there was a podium spot up for grabs and tried everything to get it. Meanwhile, at the front, Tadej Pogačar eventually did a turn for Rafal Majka, and this was absolutely incredible. 1.2 kilometers to go, and it was absolutely set in stone. They came in, of course, together in the final few bends of the stage, side by side. Absolutely terrific. How much better these two riders have been. Incredible tour preparation for the two riders, of course, and it looked like it was just a complete UAE Team Emirates show here at the front. Tadej Pogačar patted Rafal Majka on the back for a phenomenal effort, and they even proceeded to go into a rock paper scissors contest for the stage. Tadej Pogačar, of course, they did visit his hometown today, so you could have thought it would be him taking it, but Rafal Majka took the stage with Tadej Pogačar's second place, crossing the finishing line. Absolutely marketing gold for their sponsors there. So a 1 Rafal Majka, 2 for Tadej Pogačar, but of course Tadej Pogačar, he knew that he was going to win the overall for a second year in a row here in the Tour of Slovenia with only one more stage to go. Behind them, we could see that Carural managed to get the third place, just 20 seconds behind. Bardiani CSF, Iolo Kometa also cleaned up, but Sean Bennett, unfortunately, we can see there, one of, well, not the big loser, but losing time there on some of his rivals, which was not great. So that early effort really did do it for him. But Rafal Majka here, you can see stage 4 winner, his second stage of this year's Tour of Slovenia. Him and Tadej Pogačar, absolutely formidable. What a duo, and we'll have to see if they can do that against stronger competition as well in the Tour de France. But UAE Team Emirates have absolutely been head and shoulders above everyone, not just here on stage 4, but throughout the whole tour. And Rafal Majka, once again, celebrates another stage win with the Prosecco, and absolutely incredible here by the former Tour of Slovenian champion. And just a confirmation of the stage: Rafal Majka in first place, Tadej Pogačar in second place, Fernando Barcelo in third place, and then Alex Tolio from Bardiani CSF. Vincenzo Albanese again gets a fifth place. He's been so consistent there, 25 seconds down. Wojciech Repa, the young riders classification leader, sixth place. Sean Bennett in seventh place. Edward Barassi for Iolo Kometa, their second rider inside the top 10. So good result from them. Robert Stannard, a rider we haven't seen too much, finishes in ninth place. And John Igana for Kern finishes in 10th place, 55 seconds down. So not a bad result for many of those riders. Tadej Pogačar, of course, retains the overall jersey or the overall lead in the Tour of Slovenia with only one more stage to go. So you would say that this is definitely his right now. And he takes it with 3 seconds ahead of his teammate Rafal Majka. Doma Novak, even though he lost time on the stage, didn't actually lose his podium place. 1 minute and 56 seconds down. Vincenzo Albanese in fourth place, 2 minutes and 6 seconds down. So a good ride from him. Very solid from the Iolo Kometa rider. Wojciech Repa manages to claw himself up into fifth place. And Nicola Conchi unfortunately falls down into sixth place. And then we have the best British rider, Paul Dobell, actually climbed himself up into seventh place. He was sitting outside the top 10, so a really good ride from the continental rider here from England. And Joel Beltran and his teammate Fernando Barcelo, they make up an 8th and 9th. And then we have Davide Gaboro from Bardiani CSF in 10th place. So a really, really strong top 10 there. And of course, Tadej Pogačar and Rafal Majka absolutely dominating that. So that's basically it for today's video of the Tour of Slovenia. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you have, thank you for doing that. And comment down below what you think of the stage, and do you think Tadej Pogačar is a shoo-in for winning the Tour de France later this year? And of course, thank you very much for watching and have a nice day.